to decide that the things that I tried were in my life just to get high on. When I sit alone, come get a little known, but I need more than myself this time. Step from the road to the sea to the sky, and I do believe that we rely on. When I lay it on, come get to play it on, all my life to sacrifice. Hey, oh, listen what I say, oh, I got your hey, oh, now listen what I say, oh, oh. When will I know that I really can go to the well one small time to decide on? When it's killing me, when will I really see all that I need to look inside? Come to believe that I better not leave before I get my chance to ride. When it's killing me, what do I really need? All that I need to look inside. Hey, oh, listen what I say, oh, come back and hey, oh, look at what I say, oh. The more I see, the less I know, the more I like to let it go. Hey, oh, whoa, whoa. Deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder, where it's so white as snow, privately divided by a world so undecided, and there's nowhere to go. In between the cover of another perfect wonder, and it's so white as snow, running through the field where all my tracks will be concealed, and there's nowhere to go. Oh! When to descend to amend for a friend all the channels that have broken down. Now you bring it up, I'm gonna ring it up just to hear you sing it out. Step from the road to the sea to the sky, and I do believe what we rely on. When I lay it on, come get to play it on, all my life to sacrifice. Hey, oh, listen what I say, oh, I got your hey, oh, listen what I say, oh. The more I see, the less I know, the more I like to let it go. Hey, oh, whoa, whoa. Deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder, where it's so white as snow, privately divided by a world so undecided, and there's nowhere to go. In between the cover of another perfect wonder, where it's so white as snow, running through the field where all my tracks will be concealed, and there's nowhere to go. I said, hey, yeah, oh yeah, tell my Lord now. Hey, yeah, oh yeah, tell my Lord now. Deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder, where it's so white as snow, privately divided by a world so undecided, and there's nowhere to go. Deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder, where it's so white as snow, running through the field where all my tracks will be concealed, and there's nowhere to go. I said, hey, oh yeah, oh yeah.
All right, guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? Apparently, Canada's on fire or something. So Chicago's smoky. So we got some smoky vibes over here for, you know, so I hope, I don't know anything about it except that it's happening. So I hope people are okay. Harshly resident Canadian can let us know what's good over there. But yeah, let's dive into the market. New York is open. The bell has been rung. Things are happening. 200 wildfires. Jesus. Intentional? Non-intentional? How does that work? Coordinated attack? Sounds crazy. Yeah, no, I took my out at like 4 in the morning, bro. Thank you for the thoughtfulness. I feel like every year, I feel like it's cycled, right? I remember last year, I think we had something similar. So, okay, how have things started off so far? I mean, we got some bullish momentum right at New York Open, followed by the dump here, not necessarily giving me an entry for NQ. We see how Dow takes out London highs, so a lot of great liquidity capture before selling off again. A little too close to New York highs here, so I want to see these highs get swept over here from Dow. And then we also had these highs over here from Dow Jones. So if we're looking at the market, I feel like we have more, I kind of wanted like some sort of shakeout type of buy situation here. But then we broke above the highs here and we traded above these highs for some time. So this is not great. It's price action's a little like meh, you know? These highs are way too close for me to want to sell this. So there's kind of like this shakeout type of energy here for Dow. But the wicks over here are just not great. And then on top of that, Dow, at least right now, as things are opening and unfolding, or I'm just narrating how things are happening in the moment. As you guys know, sometimes things can change. So this is just like instant movement where we're taking in information instead of making decisions, which is very, very important. There's a distinction there. When you're trading here, it's not about, oh, like we gotta make decisions and have made conclusions. Sometimes you just gotta take information in and then you're able to make better decisions later. So, but more importantly, as of right now, yes, NQ and S&P are a bit more bearish than Dow. If we want to look at kind of the bigger picture of all of this here, and what we can see here is on Monday, right, we had the lows here from NASDAQ, and NASDAQ doesn't quite break below that yet. We have a lower zone here in NQ as well where it can reject from. So can we get below the low of the week, which is right over here? There's a good chance we get below there, okay? Now, on top of that, the low of the week for Dow is now different because we saw Tuesday's price action make this low way over here. So now we're seeing a difference in price, right? Dow earlier in the week is more bearish than NQ. However, now Dow is holding up much better. It's trading way up here while NQ is trading way down here. So will we see some sort of difference? Will NASDAQ keep going lower and lower? And can that bring Dow to these lower levels? So it is a possibility that we work our way down to some of these lower levels that we haven't really gotten to yet. So whether it's, are we going to trade out of here, or do we have these all the way down here from Tuesday, right? Literally just 2 days ago. Can we trade to these areas and reject these massive, massive, massive movements where we have imbalances, where we have things like this going on? So I'm going to just have this. I just want to open up the space a little bit, like your vision to the market, so you don't get too caught up in just a small time frame. Can we trade out of here? I'm going to get into that, and there's a possibility, but I don't want you to completely eliminate the possibility of the market crashing all the way down to here. It's not unusual like for indices to crash. You know, Dow can crash 500 points in a day. It's happened on Monday. It crashed all the way down to here for like 500 points. It happened on Tuesday before it completely bounced back up. So could we get a drop all the way down to here? It is most definitely possible. So just kind of expanding your vision so we can see what, like, I guess the worst case scenario could be for the market. Now with all that being said, we did have a massive sweep here that created New York lows yesterday. Market recovers. It's maintained these highs relatively well, and it's creating equal highs over here. So if we were to trade all the way down to this area here with Dow, and Dow takes out London lows, if an NQ is also taking out a clear liquidity zone, it might be like a New York low, it might be something completely different. But if we were to work our way down there, then this trade could be valid, right? If we are to take, okay, the lows of the week and in a mitigation zone from a higher time frame and Dow is playing out, then there's definitely opportunity. So now that I'm kind of just opening up the playing field, zooming out, if you will, here's how the market unfolds. So we have New York open, and it creates this moment. So New York open is this specific move to the upside. Okay. So here comes in money, clears out some liquidity. This just trades into a couple hours ago. The market quickly comes back down, comes back up, comes back down. So do I have a confirmation of my entry model to be able to sell this already? Not quite. Not quite, my guys. Don't have it. For it to be a shakeout, I would have needed it to stay in this zone, like where the market starts to pump from. It doesn't. It goes lower. So now it's going to be either the market breaks these lows and creates and maintains good structure. It stays bearish. You see price settle here before we were to get something like that. So that's an option. Let's see if it unfolds. If it doesn't do this, then there's nothing to do here. Dow, on the other hand, pretty bearish too. So we're seeing both really start to move their way down. Dow kicks things off with New York open, like down here. Similar scenario where it then crashes lower and is continuing to go lower. So was this 1 minute higher high valid? Does this give us bullish structure? No. Does this give us an uptrend here? No. It gets up there, it takes some money, and it drops. So do I love, buys anywhere near this range? I do not. I do not, in fact, want to be involved with buying inside of this range since this high didn't hold. So that's just not my trading environment whatsoever. I stay out of this kind of noise, and that's all this is. This is just noise to me. So will there be volatility? Sure. Does that mean I'm going to be involved? Not with the way things are looking right now. No. And then you have S&P, which is joining NASDAQ, because right now we're seeing NQ taking out the London lows, S&P taking out the London lows, and S&P honestly looks great for sells as well. You had the big pump to the upside. The market's working its way down. So S&P and NASDAQ have pretty similar movement right now. NQ, I'd say a bit more bearish, but both take out decent amount of liquidity, and then they're working their way lower. Okay. Some of you might be looking at Dow. You go, well, what about this little spike down here? Can I buy in here? You could, if it makes sense to you. It's not a position for me. I don't like the way that we came up and down, so I don't want to trade. If the higher high fails, then the higher low also I don't trust as much, because it doesn't give us a confirmed direction. It doesn't show us that no, there's totally plenty of buying positions here. So that's why, like, if the higher high fails, the previous higher low, it's not, for me, it's not as strong. Okay, those are indices for now. Where does that leave us? Well, guys, do you remember? Right? Do you remember this setup here that we talked about yesterday? And I had maxed out everything basically at that point. Yesterday was a good trading day for me. But remember what I talked about with these sells. I said silver could do this while gold does this over here. Oh, actually, no, I'm wrong. We had this short possibility over here. So I was thinking if we break this high up here, then silver could trade into this high up here. But it went one step lower. Gold broke this high, so still giving us higher highs on gold, while silver gave us the lower highs on here. So markets are still just pushing lower and lower and lower. If you're looking at the 1 minute right now, we just had a 1 minute mitigation with silver. Not the strongest of plays, to be fair. But you're seeing it happen here. Gold looks like it could extend up to this 730 open. It hasn't quite gotten to this level yet. But of all of the assets at the moment, what is the most bearish, and by a long shot, is gold, guys. Gold is going lower and lower and lower. Gold just broke below the lows of the week. You can see it right here. Monday, Asian session, we just got below this, while you have S&P still trading above Monday, Tuesday's high. I mean, even above Wednesday's New York highs. Dow Jones is trading way up here, NQ is still trading down to here, and NQ finally is breaking the low of the week as well. So NQ pretty bearish, gold, silver very bearish. And so right now, kind of zooming out, we can start to look at a couple different things. And here's the difference. And this is now where we got to make quick decisions here. Gold just took out the lows of the week, and silver has been way below the lows of the week as well. As soon as this happens, guys, gold eats this right back up and comes flying to the upside. So gold takes the lows, comes right back up to here, and comes right back down. So the question is this: is this enough demand for this to be a shakeout? Because what we're looking at is this is clearly taking a lot of liquidity, comes flying back up, crashing back down. Is it worth taking a buy position on gold here or a little bit lower? What do you guys think? I think that we have a decent chance, and here's why. Because now S&P just took out London lows, and Q just took out London lows. The only thing that hasn't really done anything significant is Dow Jones. Right? Dow still hasn't really cleared London lows, but a lot of key players, so a lot of indices have taken out liquidity, while metals are holding their ground. So could this play out now? We have different stages of liquidity capture, of reversals across the board, while gold is giving this shakeout vibe. Now, I would have loved for price to stay up here maybe a little bit longer, but do buys make sense here? Is the reward favorable here? Can you look for the market to trade at least to here, or would it make sense for this to trade even higher, get above the highs of the day, get to London session areas? Would you want to buy this maybe a little bit lower? So how does this line up? Does this trade make any sense? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? So S&P pushing lower, Dow pushing lower. I think that if we were to see, let's say, indices kind of or Dow maybe break below some of this, because look at this trend line right now, right? We're kind of seeing trend line liquidity right over here. If we were to crack below this, especially London lows, then I could see gold really starting to give reversals. Even right now, I have that intuitive feeling that metals are gonna wanna keep pushing higher. I just want a good risk reward. Now, because there's this move up here wasn't the best. It wasn't super, like it didn't build demand for super long. It came up, the break and retest was real, came right back down. Now this is starting to fly. If we can pull back down one more time, I think I'd take this with a half risk. I had the chance to take the trade right here just a couple minutes ago, but I was kind of contemplating, thinking about it, and I just hadn't gotten to gold yet. So I would have taken this, I think, with a half risk, just because the way we traded up here wasn't super, super great. Yeah, so I would have taken this, I think, with a half R. I wouldn't have taken it with the full risk. A couple confirmations that weren't just my favorite. Yeah, and now we're starting to fill some of this imbalance over here. So at this point, I would move my stop to like right here. Yeah, kind of tighten this up. And I'm curious, I wonder if we're gonna get that, you know, like if we see another push down, if that changes things here. Now, again, right, we got London lows getting swept, NQ takes out these lows over here. So either if there's kind of two scenarios that NASDAQ can bring forward now. NQ could come up to here, right? If it comes up really quickly and it holds these highs, then we can get a shakeout with NASDAQ. That's definitely a possibility. So we now let this thing unfold. Let's see what happens here. 4R on YM this morning. Awesome, bro. Yeah, drop the chart. Let's see how it unfolded. Syndicate, you know, the bonus session we did yesterday, I'm gonna go ahead and actually send it in here right after I'm done, because that session yesterday was absolutely epic. From managing that trade live, talking through it, and then the combo that we had with Sarah and Brandon, I think it was such a good one. Honestly, I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna end up uploading probably parts of that conversation to the YouTube channel, because I think there's just a lot to gain from. All right, yeah, look at this thing. So S&P ripping, NQ ripping. I'm sure metals are probably doing something similar. All right, YM as well. Nice, guys. What'd you trade with YM? Was it sells in here somewhere? Walk me through your trades. Shakeout over here or something? Help me understand. All right, so NQ breaks below London lows, comes up. It's crashing right now, so it's a little too aggressive for me. Up and down within a couple minutes. I don't love that. And now Dow is starting to liquidate these lows. Okay, great. Look at how quickly we're starting to see reversals now. Metal's holding up really well. So despite indices crashing down, metal's still holding on to their level. Okay. Look at how Dow has now cleared this kind of liquidity. Ooh. NQ comes crashing down, holds up. So there's signs that this wants to come up soon, but they're not great. Like, I don't have confirmations for buys on NQ. Dow taking out this sort of liquidity here, which is really just a couple, like, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour's worth of retail buyers. Will this hold? I don't have an entry here, so, I don't take anything. These to me look like equal lows as well, so I think we can just go lower. But here's where all the pieces can come together, and I'm willing to take a position. If Dow gets below London lows, so Dow crashes below these London lows, and if metals are still relatively bullish, I'm down to be involved in this shakeout trade for gold. Because now what I'm seeing is metals are holding their ground pretty strongly. Like, they're holding up. So if we now have, let's say, checked all the boxes, so like NQ swept their lows, Dow swept London lows, and S&P has done its thing. So if everything has been holding, has been liquidating, now all of a sudden, it's like everything is ready, if you will. So it took out this low right there. Now the markets feel a lot more ready to go. So a part of me thinks maybe this was just only this low was necessary, which was the low before of this structure. People set their stops right there, so that just took out that stop. But we're close enough for all of this liquidity to get swept too. So obviously, this is where some discernment, maybe a little bit of intuition is starting to creep in. You're probably thinking, let me just, maybe let me just buy this because we just broke the lows. Like, maybe it's time to reverse already. And there's a chance that that's true. We're so close to these London lows that I'm okay with missing out, and I want to see this through. I want to see it crack this. And then finally at that point, I think we can get overall the market shifting the way I would want it to. So let's wait and see. Did silver roll over already by any chance? Do we have, do we have silver going to a new contract, or is that just me? Let's see. Okay. All right, so guys, Dow is getting still closer and closer to these lows. Let's see it happen. I have it on us, so let me split my screen because I want to just market execute once. Or if, I guess technically, if this happens. So this is, you guys are watching kind of how I put the pieces together between different asset classes to make these kinds of decisions. So yeah, this gets swept and then that's it. It's game time from there. Because we took out these lows, which it just kind of looks like it wants to be enough. And I don't want to come from a scarcity mindset, but sometimes you wait so long for so many things and you just end up missing the move anyways. So like, let's say you wanted to have half a risk here or whatever, and it would still be worth your trade. okay, take the trade, right? And then if it does clear the London lows, then you have another half hour available. All right. I'm gonna be ready here. So my risk here is like 550. This shows 414. 552. Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait it out here, folks. I think we're one spike down away. Fuck. I think it's gonna go without us. Or without me. Damn. That did me dirty. Ain't that some shit? Sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles, yo. It still could play out. It still could do the wick down. Want to see it below 52,833, basically. So let's see. Make it so what is it? The interval? Can I go 5 minute here and then 1 minute here? Oh, I can. Okay, that looks nicer. There we go. I think that's it though. Looks like it was breaking. This low was the one. I had my, like you guys heard me talk about, I had my intuition about that being a possibility. And when we were right there, I was like, should I go half R here? Have something in the game. It is what it is. But okay. If we end up coming back down at some point, cool. If not, that's fine as well. But let's reevaluate other assets. So what did we see, right? S&P took out London lows, came back up, traded out of this last point of where we had support before, and immediately bounced. So really clean trading for S&P here. Not like my favorite structure-wise, but yeah, super clean, super nice. NQ went a little bit lower one more time here before reversing. So NQ still honestly kind of with the potential for a shakeout if it were to play out that way. So we'll see. Something that could line up is that we could end up seeing, like, let's say NQ giving higher lows or something over here later, maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, and then Dow making lower lows. So if there's a situation in which Dow is trading down here, right, breaking those lows, and then NQ is giving us higher lows, again, that could be a buying scenario. So there's nothing really out of the question, if you will, yet from these markets. And this is just me looking at it from different points of view. Now, someone asked about oil. Okay, so let's talk about oil. Shout out to Seth and Brandon, man. The oil buys yesterday were absolutely epic. Where did I have these marked up? Here we go. These lower zones were just beautiful. I talked about avoiding this one since things were really confusing between indices and oil, like the inverse correlation situation just wasn't really going down the same way. So yeah, like it broke over here, traded into this. I was watching it and I'm like, man, if indices and oil were just moving more similarly together, I would be down. but it was just kind of a mess, so I did stay away. But this was a beautiful, beautiful trade. Like, right there, taking your exits, whether it's to the imbalance or to the high. So just really good risk reward potential. Overall, just like, yeah, beautiful setup. So well done, guys. Great eyes. This is what we like to see. That syndicate trained perspective. And then in the chat, I saw some mention about an oil idea. So I enter with half risk, higher. Okay, cool. So some of you made that decision. Trading should let you use the replay tool to get the better entry. That's wild. If only, right? If only. Where was the oil? Oil buys at 79.25. Okay, so you're looking at it this way. So remember, a couple of things in mind. One, we've been flying up to this zone. All week, we've been squeezing. So we're within this range. The highs haven't quite broken these highs. So the highs are kind of making this trajectory over here. It actually was making a downtrend trend line situation. That was broken this morning. That was weird. You'll hear that? This morning. It's happening to me. This morning. And from there, switching over from U to Q. Okay. So it clears this pretty close. So it can go either way. So if you're looking at U or Q, the numbers might be different. But we just failed to maintain the high for New York highs, Tokyo highs. It just clears it and drops. So is the buy that you're looking for, does it have a lot going for it? Well, the 5-minute confirmations are good, right? We go from lower lows, lower highs, lower lows to higher highs. So that part of the equation, solid. But the 15-minute fails. So it clears the highs and then loses all this momentum. So I don't love it. It wouldn't be a full RR trade for me. I see it, I get it. There's definitely a big sell-off before a continuation. You have this as well. So you had the last spike down before it rallied. When the market comes back over to here, this looks like it trades out of the order block, not this mitigation. So, like I just mentioned, when the market fails to make a higher high, its previous higher low also is a lot more vulnerable. And this is where I'll show you this happening in real time, which was right here, right? Dow makes a higher high, and then this previous low, higher low, is vulnerable, right? It doesn't hold. So it breaks this one, then rallies. Manda Manuan. So we have that. So the same approach, the same concept is what I have in mind with oil. Like, okay, this fails to make the higher high over here, so the higher low over here is a lot more vulnerable. I'd be a bit more interested, kind of like yesterday, where it breaks below the first low and then sets up for another one. So if anything, I could kind of see it play out from like over here instead, and then make some sort, trade within the range or something like that. So this makes a bit more sense. This is like a weak setup. So low grade setup. It has its vulnerabilities. When higher highs fail to hold its previous higher low is also likely to break. So this is vulnerable. This low here is definitely, in my opinion, in my experience, it's not as good looking there. So let me know what you think about that. And then this taking out this low, it sweeps liquidity, takes out London lows, and it just looks more likely to play out, to work out. So here's my bias on today's bias, July 16. Maria Lisa, if you're on here. It's your birthday. It's Karen's birthday too. What? So many birthdays. Happy birthday, everybody. If you are watching right now, thanks for spending your valuable time with me. I'm honored to be here with y'all. And thanks for being good people. Examples. Great mothers. Good vibes. Much love. So Maria Lisa and Karen, huh? Look at y'all. Okay, so yeah, these are some bias for this one. Not really a trade yet. I kind of want to see it just unfold. All right, here was your setup, right, Corey? So the sweep down, I don't know. So it was clears the lows. So kind of a shakeout, but the liquidity sweep here wasn't like a London low or anything. It was just a massive imbalance fill. Dude, this is a great trade. I'm glad you were up for it, and great exit at the London high. Dude, you're crushing it. Good stuff. Yeah, man, good work. Really good work. All right, so now metals are still kind of moving sideways, just choppy here. But meanwhile, I mean, S&P is absolutely ripping, right? We weren't looking to sell any indices either because these lows were, again, same thing. If a lower low fails to hold this structure, well, then its previous lower high is also vulnerable to failing. Q example with S&P. I'm assuming NQ. NQ is in this zone, so not as bullish. It's at the New York Open. And then we have Dow. Dow here is trading near its choppiness, right? Here was New York Open for Dow. It's kind of, here's where all the volume comes in as well. So does market look good for selling? I don't love it. The way this comes down and right back up, it's not my favorite. Is there liquidity down here? Yes. Yeah, these are just like not my favorite setups, man. Like, does this get to a sell-off zone? Sure. Is NQ giving us lower highs versus S&P? Yeah. S&P broke the highs, NQ is still giving us lower highs. Great. It's just that every time right now indices are making their lower lows, it's just not, it's not that encouraging. Like, yes, this was here for like 15 minutes, but when you zoom out, this just looks like, oh yeah, let's sweep liquidity over here and then let's come right back up. And a higher time frame liquidity sweep, in my opinion, overrides some lower time frame example here. So if it's doing, oh, look at this, 1 minute, lower low, it's here for 10, 15 minutes. But if then the 15 minute was, nah, we're just sweeping liquidity. Well, it just, to me, this has different narratives. This has different motives. Higher time frame always, whatever the higher time frame narrative is always going to be more valuable, more important than the lower time frame one. So I'd rather keep in mind that than anything else. So no trade, no sell for me here. Not something I'd want to do here. If this were to drop and I could have made some money, oh well. So be it. So, okay, now we saw NQ, very bullish, a lot of movement. Dow up and right back down. S&P clears the highs, starts to drop below. But meanwhile, guys, what are we seeing with metals, right? Metals are just kind of squeezing here. Just consolidating, not really doing much. So of all of everything, metals have now been much more bearish. They're just trading down here. It's a little odd, right? And it feels like they have a split personality right now. They're not really going up, they're not really going down. And look at how gold is kind of just chilling. Meanwhile, you have Dow just bleeding out, right? Dow right now is starting to crash. Will we see it get below these London lows, like I've talked about? So is it going to crash below to here? If Dow gets below all of this, if metals want to keep holding the way they're doing it right now, yeah, I mean, I might just pull the trigger on something like this because this just looks like more liquidity. So we'll see. We'll see, my friends over here. Let's look at this. We're about to see, it's getting close again. So look at, it's funny enough, all of this came back together. So will we clear this? There's motive here again. What also could set up would be, for example, where is this? So NQ, right, crashes from New York Open. Deep retracement over to here. Do we see, if Dow crashes, maybe we see NQ trade over to here or something. It's possible. Let's see. Because, so right now what's really interesting about how everything is unfolding is we already saw NQ tag out liquidity. We saw S&P do the same thing. And then Dow's kind of on its own like flip-floppy agenda. What's it gonna be? With Dow finally clearing this, is that going to be the green light for the entire market to want to shift to the upside again? Now what kind of sucks is if this doesn't really give us a decent drop and then we don't really have the proper risk reward scenario, that then is unfortunate. Because the only other thing that you could do is want to move the stops up a bit, and that in itself carries some risk. And so that's pretty annoying. Okay, let's see. All right. Well, so we wait. All right. So while all that's cooking up, what does this market look like? Lucid's still ripping, dude. Holy shit. So they teased bankruptcy and then they denied it, and then everyone's like, oh, we're lit. Interesting. Possible mitigation setup here later on with Lucid. Maybe a little options play here in the future. We saw PayPal with a massive pull back into the mid 50s. Fantastic. This is great. Chewy had a big day as well. Yesterday, Nike up 3% on the day. Pretty sideways. Lots of squeezing. Breakout here, more than likely happening sometime soon. SpaceX still trading below IPO now after all the hype, which was very predictable. You know, we talked about it so many times here. Okay, that's about it right now. That doesn't need to take our attention up too much. All right. So NQ, check it out. NQ, we have sweep, consolidation. This is looking more and more like shakeout type vibes. Let's wait and see. Silver still squeezing, gold still squeezing. So all right, for those of you that have been on with me here, let me look at the chat. Maybe I'm missing something. Next week. Got it. Okay. Oh, Marielese is on here. What's up, dude? They like shorts better on oil. 1 minute. See that. Some shorts on BTC. Poor Elon in his billionaire status. You mean trillionaire status? Doesn't NQ poke too far above for your rules? So you're telling me about my rules now? That's crazy. It starts to drop from here. I think you're measuring it maybe from this spike. But here it comes up. Here's where everything comes down. No, I know what you meant, man. And I'm a human being. I could also get my own rules wrong. That's pretty fair. I mean, I've done it before. I didn't take it personal, don't worry. It's all good, it's all good. Shorts on Bitcoin. I saw shorts on Bitcoin before. I marked it up actually a couple days ago. I don't know if anyone pulled the trigger on it, but we had it marked up over here. So this was a short from this zone, but we already had tagged this, so now I think what you're looking for is this. So you had on Wednesday, right, Tokyo highs trades up to here, comes down, and honestly, you trade down here for hours, 6-7 hours. So looking for shorts here, I kind of understand maybe why, but this looks more like liquidity as well. And if you're gonna sell something here, it probably would be maybe in the 65, like 300 range over here instead. But this looks like a more of a reaccumulation with this happening. Now that it's shifting right back up. So it clears the lows and then comes right back up to this zone. So if we can, if this holds, or if it breaks above these highs, then yeah, I think we're just continuing to rally. Sells on YM at 53.040. Yeah, it's not my kind of trade. If it's yours, cool, do it. I see this sweep up. There's an imbalance. It's just the lows. The lows suck. The lower lows suck here. So that's why I don't love this kind of shorting. I can see it though. I get it, for sure. There's been a lot of resistance over here. There's a liquidity right there. So like you can take that out, reverse. This is honestly a pretty classic, this is a very Corey setup. Like you dismiss a lot of structure often, to be fair. And you know this, so I mean, it's just true. And then these imbalance, so like where it clears liquidity and then there's an imbalance there. I know you like these kind of setups. So I see why. It's just not my favorite type of trade. This structure here failing a couple times. You can go either way. Maybe like a half hour. I kind of get it. Metal's still squeezing. Do we like the oil 1 minute mitigation in which it swept yesterday's New York high for a sell? And you're talking about this one here. So takes out the high, works its way back down. So here's where it's grinding. It's grinding up and up and up and up and up and up. Takes out the high, squeezes for a bit, one last push, then works its way down. It's not bad. This is kind of like a shakeout as well, like the push, break. I mean, kind of retest the previous levels of resistance here. Lures money back in. Yeah, I can see it. I'd probably take it with a little less, with like half hour as well. Looks like metal's finally breaking out. S&P making higher highs. Up here, look at S&P and how it has that last spike up before it drops. Approaching London highs. You still remember at higher time frames, you still have New York highs up here with Dow. So all of this analysis, all of this talk, all of this yapping, and not a single trade. Here's where you can confuse your responsibility as a trader, right? Your responsibility as a trader isn't to just trade. It's to make good decisions. It's to make quality decisions based off of your risk. So don't confuse a lack of You don't confuse inaction as something wrong as a trader. This is a place, this is a time where you can realize, okay, am I listening to the prepared version of me, the professional version of me? Am I just listening to the degen version of me? This isn't a job that you get paid by the hour, right? You don't make wages here. You earn money here. That's a really, really important distinction. When you're making wages, then all you're thinking about is your time. I gotta be here for 8 hours. Gotta clock in. But when you're thinking about earnings, it's based on your quality. These aren't wages. It doesn't work that way. This is more like being an entrepreneur than it is being at a job. You get paid for your skill, not just for sitting on your ass. All right. Yeah, guys, like this is pretty much just not doing anything. So for today, if I see anything else, I'll keep you guys in the loop. I want to make sure you guys are all set in stone, registered for the webinar here about how you can get out of trading purgatory. So if you're not registered and you're experiencing these types of symptoms where you're like, I swear I could sometimes I can see trading heaven in front of me, but sometimes I feel like I'm living in trading hell. If you're there, register for this one. I'm gonna be doing a deep dive, some key case studies and examples, and then we'll do a live Q&A at the end. So make sure you're checking that out. You're registered. The link has been dropped, so just go ahead and click that link. I'm super stoked for it. And we have tons of videos going through on the channel, so if you want to keep working on the craft right now, go check out the last video that was dropped 2 days ago. Leave a comment. One person that drops a comment is going to win a funded account tomorrow. I will announce the winner on the stream here tomorrow. And then also, I got some love for y'all. I got a little extra. I got another video coming out for you guys too. So, yeah, I'll drop it maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. You'll see. So, yeah, thanks for being here, guys. The markets are a little too choppy for me. Maybe they'll start to, do some nice things as soon as I get off. That tends to happen. So, yeah, enjoy, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Happy birthday to everybody. Take care.